This is the reason why I'm very scared about this market, because the latest Redfin report is saying that almost a third of every home for sale in the US is new construction, the highest share of any third quarter on record. New builds are taking up a massive share of the pie, and builders are trying to attract buyers with concessions. And this is crazy, right? This is the byproduct of 0% interest rates. And look at this, after 2008, the number of construction companies absolutely decreased and the number of new construction homes dropped. And then it slowly went up, but it wasn't really like super high. At one point around 2017 and 2020, it kind of stayed around the same spot, almost felt like the new construction could actually drop. But then after the pandemic, construction just boomed. You got 0% interest rates, construction companies went crazy. In fact, there were a record amount of new construction companies that came in, and now new construction homes are spiking like crazy, at one point going up to 35 whopping percent. Now it's at 31, 33%, which is still extremely high, something we've never seen before. And when Redfin says that this is the highest of something in all of US, real estate history, that's something that you shouldn't really take lightly. And this is really correct, right? Go to some place like Austin, Texas, for example. You have a lot of old homes, but when you go to the suburbia, you get a lot of new construction homes. Many of these homes were constructed just in the past 3 years, and many were just finishing up this year and even this month. And even in my neighborhood, even in my zip code, there's more new homes being built and being listed for sale than secondhand homes, almost a 3-to-1 ratio, which is something that's wild here. So talk about an oversupply. You don't even have enough buyers for secondhand homes, let alone insane construction for new homes that are just recently built. And this is why, for example, if you go to Austin, every few listings, you always get like a massive price cut. Like this unit here, it's a condo, it's pretty nice, $20,000 cut right there. This one, $19,000, it's a townhouse. And you also have this one, $5,000 cut right there, and $36,000 cut right there. And look at some of these homes. These are actually pretty cheap, pretty affordable homes. And like I said before, just go to like a random suburban neighborhood. They're building some of these homes like crazy and for pretty reasonable prices, like 1,800 square feet, just a few miles from downtown Austin, 400 grand. And these prices are going to continue to drop lower as time goes on, because this is truly an oversupply. And if you guys think this is worse, I got more things to add on to it, which is going to be the rise of office buildings being converted to condos and apartments. That's a big deal. And remember, these are all homes for sale. We're still not counting the new construction homes for rent. And this is where Oakland comes in, which is setting a pretty big and scary example. Rents in Oakland have fallen faster than anywhere else in the US for a simple reason. The city built a lot of housing. And we're talking about the overall rental prices of Oakland dropping 7.2% in a very short amount of time. If you look at this place, Brooklyn Basin, it's pretty good, next to the water. These apartment complexes are now finishing up and now being leased out. And because there's so many units being leased out and so many people in the past that bought homes, Oakland prices are dropping like a rock. 7.2% fall over the last year is something not to laugh at, because a lot of these real estate developers were expecting this amount of rent for their construction cost. But now rents are down almost 10% in such a short amount of time. We're seeing a lot of buildings in Oakland going towards the foreclosure route. And we could be seeing this in many other cities like Austin, Phoenix, Las Vegas, even Miami, because construction is just going off the charts right now. Seriously, I know their rates are at almost 8% for the 30-year mortgage, but construction companies seem to not care at all. It's almost like a building addiction at this point. They're building like crazy. They're building condos, suburban homes, skyscrapers every single day. Even Manhattan is having a massive construction addiction as well. And now Chicago will be leading office to apartment flips. A new report is coming out to say that many offices in Chicago are pretty empty, right? It makes sense because if you go to San Francisco, for example, office vacancies are like almost 40%. Same thing with Oakland. And you have so much empty office space. And now you have like Biden, for example, incentivizing people to just turn some of these office buildings into residential buildings. Cities with the most cities with the most apartments converted from other buildings in 2022. You do see most of these cities are in like California. They're basically leading the charge here, and we're going to be seeing more of this, right? As time goes on and as office to apartments conversions get a little bit cheaper because of tax incentives and government incentives, we're going to be seeing even more of these units flooding onto the market. And I still consider office to residential conversions like new construction because it's like a new conversion. But yeah, if you think about this, a third of the homes for sale are new construction. What about the number of homes for rent? It's getting to the point where like a good chunk, maybe 10, 15, 20% of all the homes on the market right now are becoming like new construction rentals. And just in the next few years, we're going to be seeing a few million new construction rentals coming on the market. People are just building these apartment complexes like no tomorrow. And it's very scary, right? It's like a massive bubble. And prices are actually faulting. Even in some of those popular places like Miami, for example, where people say that prices don't come down, we're already seeing big price negotiations for homes under $1 million in Miami. And this is also pretty scary. And now you enter the Airbnb guys. I mean, if you thought it wasn't worse enough when you have this many construction companies, this many companies wanting to convert offices to apartments, now you got Airbnb entering the room. They're saying that, hey, rental revenues are plummeting and more people are listing their Airbnb units not as rentals anymore, but instead homes for sale. If you even look at some of the most popular places on Airbnb, like San Francisco, Seattle, Miami, these are traditionally cities that are well visited. Look at San Francisco, for example. Most of these places are empty, right? A lot of superhosts are saying that they used to rent out a good, 20 to even 30 nights every single month. But now they're renting less than a week. And if they're lucky, a week. So look at some of these prices like 400, 350, big price cuts that are happening. 230 to 202, and this is just like the first page. This is a lot of discounts for San Francisco. And if you look at Miami, same exact thing. Miami is getting probably even more price cuts in San Francisco. So this is not great news for the Airbnb guys. And just to add on the pressure, we're going to be seeing more units being listed from Airbnb. You got more units being listed from new construction companies and much more. And if you just look at some of the new construction units for Austin, it's some pretty scary stuff. And if you just look at 2022 and you click a pie, look at the amount of new construction communities. Many of these dots are not single homes. If you see a dot with a house on it, it's like a new construction whole entire community. And they're building these like crazy. It really amazes me, how can you build this much? And this is why you got things like fire sales, insane discounts, and massive price reductions. And there's just not that many buyers, right? We're looking at almost 8% rates for 30-year mortgages. People just don't want to pay that kind of amount unless you give them like a really sweet deal, like 10, 12% off. If you don't give them that, they won't buy. So this is some pretty scary stuff. This is by far one of the most disturbing Redfin reports I've ever seen. Thanks for watching, guys. Comment below and see you later.